Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. And in today's news, we got a lot of things to discuss today. But before we even continue today's video, much love to you. I hope everyone's having a blessed weekend. Today I woke up and went to Chili's. You know me, had my little watermelon margarita. A little sippage today, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was feeling myself, nothing wrong with that. Papatello needs some love too. Had some triple decker with honey chipotle crispers, little sliders, and a little Nashville hot mozzarella sticks. Watch out, because my ass might be on fire later, and we don't want to get packed up in the toilet. So settle down. Let's not start this video off like we did last time. However, though, before we continue today's video, check out the link below, Rested XP, your guide through all of Azeroth. If you need any quest and journey easily a little bit more accessible to you, the link's down below for you to support you. Much love to you. Support the boys, support the channel, and if anything, just like and subscribe. That's all I really care about anyways. However, how can we forget the Polands of Springs? Oh yes. Oh yes. Tasted like it was scooped at the Hudson River. Unbelievable. However, though, don't get packed. Anywho, so, can flex rating be coming to Season of Discovery? This is something that we talked about in the last video where basically it was very well approached with how Blizzard wanted to do their raids. They wanted to just set Molten Core at a 20-player capacity and no more, no less, right? Just leave it at 20 players, right? But players noticed that they were able to bring in more than 20 players, and we talked about this. It was a bug that wasn't intended, but this led to a further discussion that where I'm now seeing a lot of more posts about this, and especially the Reddit threads, and then people talking about it in communities about, can flex rating be a thing within World of Warcraft, especially within Season of Discovery? And should this be looked at for a lot of their older raids, and especially the newer raids that are going to be coming out within the future, and especially if we go to BWL and ZG and later on down the line to the endgame raids, right? And I am more on the side of flex rating being a thing for World of Warcraft, especially within Season of Discovery, where players don't need to be forced to have to, not pick up their friends coming to their guild runs, not get them involved, and, have issues where you have to choose these rosters. And don't get me wrong, I love choosing rosters. It gives me, like, football vibes. I'm a football guy myself. I like having, like, a nice depth chart and picking who's coming to the team and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, it sucks when you have to leave a friend or a man out, a man on the bench, And I think flex rating should be something that should be considered when it comes to Season of Discovery, so people can have all their friends come play the game, or get a whole bunch of massive amount of players to come within a raid. Now, obviously, with due reasons and limitations, right? It could be up to like a 40-player limitation, if anything, right? But you should be inclined to have anybody come to your raid and have fun with an MMO. After all, it is a game that is, a massive multiplayer online experience, and it'd be really cool to have, some type of flex rating within SOD. I think it's a neat idea. I'm very intrigued to see if they decide to implement it. Not saying that, I'm forcing anyone to. I'm just saying it'd be cool to see if they test the waters with this. Obviously, Season of Discovery is all about testing, right? And everything's been about testing, especially with the rune system and our classes, and obviously these new dungeons that they've been doing with Demonfall Canyon, and obviously the new raids and new mechanics and some bosses within them, right? But besides that, though, what do you guys think about, flex rating? What do you think about, scalable rating as well? And let me know your comments below. We can have a little bit more of a conversation down there. Be easy, why don't you, okay? Be easy. Everybody will get packed up. If I see some people getting rough around the edges, I'll take you out back behind the bar. Old school, old Yeller style. In Minecraft, YouTube family friendly. Settle down. However, though, in the next subject, Patch 1.15.4, a new patch has been discovered with the Encrypted vendor servers for possible Phase 5 Season of Discovery updates. Now, this is something that's very interesting because I know there was a lot of interviews going on as of recently, with a lot of YouTubers getting a lot of interviews and talking with the developers, especially my one boy, Ebonheart TV. Shout out to him. Please go follow him and watch out his video over there. Very good interview, by the way. Check them out. A lot of great things they were discussing. I'm going to leave it to you guys to go over there because I don't want to, spoil anything. That's all for you guys. It's already been out, so go check it out. Just giving a little content and, a little support to the boy. Much love to him. But besides that, I tend to stutter, so settle down. Don't get spit on. Don't let me do it right now. However, though, besides what I'm basically getting at is that there was things that they mentioned in that interview as well, which I'm very curious about in terms of how long this phase is actually going to last. And that's something that is a lot of, a lot of people have concerns about, and they have questions too on how long a phase is going to last, because obviously we don't want to have an experience again where it's a phase 3 scenario, right, where, you know, phase 3 was, and we can all agree, was way too long. It was ridiculous. Sunken Temple, it was nice for, like, you know, the first, like, week or two, you know, a couple weeks. After a while, I was like, okay, I think I'm a little over Sunken Temple and the amount of trash we have to fight in there, which was something I never understood with Sunken Temple. I wish we had a teleporter within there. We had something in BFD, we had something in Nomer, we never got something like that in Sunken Temple. Something that I wish they changed, but hey, that's a minor little gripe, nothing crazy. Devs, don't pack me up, much love. However, yes, within this phase, I do like Molten Core. I do think it needs to breathe a little bit. We're already a month in. I think this phase deserves another month and change. Not 3 months, but a month and change, and I think that's a good way to lead into BWL after that point, and especially ZG, right? But besides that, I think that these you know, phases should have a reasonable amount of time to have some experience of people to play this, because if you go through them too fast, then players are not going to be able to enjoy these raids overall. And if you go through them too slow, you're going to burn out your player base, and you don't want to do what just happened in phase 3, because that caused a player loss, as we were talking about. You know, obviously with Ironforge last week, we were talking about logging and stuff like that, from the player base then to the player base now, and obviously we want to try to keep as many players playing Season of Discovery overall in general, because it is fun. Obviously people are still having fun with SOD. I'm having a blast with SOD no matter what, even though there's some dry times here and there, and obviously when it comes towards the end game of raiding, it's a lot of raid logging, but overall, I would like to see, you know, this phase go through a nice, smooth experience, and then we would, you know, easily go within BWL and any new content that they might be adding that we're not aware of, especially when it comes to these encrypted vendors found on, you know, the Wowhead post over here, and especially what are going to be lying within those vendors. Are we possibly going to be seeing items that are related to BWL, to ZG, maybe a possible new faction, new reputation, a new system of tokens, like kind of like the Undermine Reels? What is exactly going to happen on these vendors? Maybe possible new gear. There's endless things to discover when it comes to SOD, when they have these new things coming out, so that the player base can figure out, right? So I'm very curious to see what we're going to go from there. Now, in the next subject. Now, obviously, on the screen here, we have some Warcraft logs for week 2. It seems like Assassination Rogue, Survival Hunters, and Marksman Hunters are your top classes still for the week, and a couple other classes are starting to make the rise up and scale up the system as well, especially classes like Frost Mages, Enhancement Shamans, and Fury Warriors. Even though Fury Warriors are in the middle of the pack, overall on the top end of the parse end, they're actually one of the highest parsing end classes in the game, as one of the highest classes, you know, highest skill gap as well. You know, being a really good warrior, it does take a lot of effort and a lot of, you know, gear that you have to get in order to maximize the full potential of being a really good damaging warrior, knowing your rotation, being in the right group, having the right buffs, being extremely kitted out. So warrior is a high skill ceiling class that I've always appreciated, and it's really nice to see the warriors still have the high top end parse damage, even though the numbers don't reflect it in the overall thing, because right now Assassination Rogues and Hunters are pumping, especially Feral Druids, which Feral Druids might actually see a nerf, unfortunately, here sooner than later, because it doesn't seem like Blizzard is intending to have classes like Druids to be the top end overall damage, instead of, like, you know, more of a support class. But I still like seeing Ferals, you know, shine. This is something I've been saying for a while, especially in the earlier phases, that I would love to see Druids, you know, start to shine and rise up, because it's been a while since we've seen Druids shine. Besides PvP stuff, we're just sticking to PvE talk here, right? And obviously for my class, more importantly, you know, Warlocks and, you know, Paladins, I love to see that Affliction Locks are doing great with support of other classes, benefiting them. And Retribution Paladins are a little bit behind Frost Mages this time around, but that's to be expected, especially within MC. But it's nice to see Paladins in the middle of the pack. This is something that I personally like. Now, yes, we might see Paladins get buffs in the future. If they do get buffs, that's great. But overall, though, as a Rep Paladin, if you're mainly focusing on just doing damage within a raid as a DPS spec and not offering some off, you know, cleanses where you stop doing damage, stop your swings, maybe you have to offer a couple cleanses, that's the kind of gameplay I do like, because it feels like my spec is more of a hybrid spec rather than just only pure DPS. And that's what I like about Rep Paladin, is where I can offer the cleanses but at the same time do damage. But if you're focusing mainly damage, and especially if you look at the sims as well, Rep Paladins have really high sims where they're going around like 3,500 damage. You could probably push that a little bit higher. I think in my previous raid, or the raid before that, I believe, when we were doing MC2, I was pushing like 2,800, 2,900 damage on Magmadar. and it was, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking insane, with full world boss, fully kitted out. But obviously I didn't have like the full Lawbringer set, but that's something I am aiming for. And to actually break into that conversation of talking about, you know, Paladin stuff, we have to discuss my gear currently, or the gear that I'm trying to go for currently. This is not my gear currently, but the gear that I am trying to go for. Now, there is some pieces right now that I am missing. One of the main 2 pieces I am missing is my shoulders and the helmet. I am missing those 2 pieces, so right now, hopefully within Onyxia this week, or even MC this Friday, because we do Onyxia and our World Boss Tours Monday, Tuesday. By the way, quick little plug for the guild. Living Flame, Tello-Ret, we're in need of Shadow Priests, Locks, and Resto Druids. Any heal classes, just healers, and Shadow Priests and Locks. So hit me up below, Tello-Ret, Living Flame. Much love to you if you want to, you know, join up with the guild. I appreciate that. But besides that, though, definitely looking for those 2 pieces. This is realistically what I want. This is what I'm going for overall, basically, Molten Core level 3 gear, which would basically have the Devil Core Gauntlet set. We would have the 2-piece Devil Core Gauntlet, because with the 2-piece Devil Core Gauntlet set, you're going to be getting your double fire resistance. You get, you know, your 2% chance to hit. You also get fire resistance from the leg piece as well. You get crit. You get AP. I mean, everything is here for you. I'll also click on this other thing here too, just to show you guys. You get some crit from this. You get more AP, more fire resist. It's a lot of fire resistance that you stack from the Devil Core. And if you look at a lot of the stats, especially on Warcraft logs, a lot of the top paladins are using for MC3 double core, or double Devil Core Gauntlet 2-set bonus, right? Basically what I'm getting at. But majority of this stuff is basically straightforward. This is the Typhoon build. If you want, obviously, if you're twisting, you would go with, you know, the Hand of Rag, right? So obviously up to you. With the 6-piece set, Typhoon. Without 6-piece set, you would probably go Redefined Arcanite Champion, which I think it is here as well if I type it in. 1 second. Hold on, guys. Hold with me. Here it is. You would go Refined Arcanite Champion if you don't have your 6-piece set. But with full 6-piece set, especially if you're just going for, you know, straight up, you know, damage, like straight up just fast-paced damage, you would just go with Typhoon, right? That would be your setup. And this would be everything that you want to get. You know, Quick Strike Ring, that's something that we're still missing. We're still missing the Accursed Chalice, believe it or not. I gotta farm that. And just like, you know, basically I would say, in reality, for the full perfect set, we would need, actually, instead of 2 more set pieces, we would need 3 more set pieces. The helmet, the shoulders, and the wrist, and then getting the Devil Core set. But regardless of that, like, we have majority of these things. We don't have the Major Domo's Drape. We still have to get that as well. But majority of everything else we have, all right? So let's calm it down. But that is basically the bread and butter of what we would need to get to MC3. Right now, we're trying to bang out most of our runs here, either MC2. Sometimes we have to crank it down to 1. That's due to, obviously, the nature of, you know, pugging and raiding. And it's a good topic to talk about as well, because the one thing I want to discuss is that I want people to understand that, you know, just because you see people doing MC3 and obviously accomplishing, you know, a lot of things on Molten Core 3 and Heat Level 3, that's not something that needs to be for every single person. You know what I mean? You can get to MC3 in your time, and there's plenty of time to do it. This is not a race to MC3 as much as the community tries to, you know, have this fear of missing out agenda, you know? Because I think there is a thing that happens within SOD where people are like, oh, if I'm not doing MC3 before BWL comes out, I might as well quit the game, or I might as well not do this or do that. You could play the game at your own pace. I know people that are still doing other raids from past phases, you know, and they're playing the game at their own pace. There's nothing wrong with that. But obviously people want to get geared out. This is not an incentive to say, oh, you should, you know, take it slow and just chill out. No, obviously you want a game, you want a game. But right now, me and my guild personally, we just been doing MC2 and MC1. That's been our level of balance right now. Obviously with Pugs trying to fill in some gaps. I think there's like 4 or 5 gaps of those spots sometimes we have to fill each week. But things happen. It is what it is, right? No one's perfect. This is the reality of things, of, you know, speaking the truth from you from one gamer to another, you know? And I'm just saying, just enjoy the game at your own pace. Have fun with it. You will get the items you therefore seek so much, and just keep grinding at the game, you know, and have a good time. That's what all World of Warcraft's all about. So just being a little bit more real with you and down to earth. But besides that, don't think because I'm talking nice to you, you can treat me like a doormat. You will get bitch slapped. Much love to you. Back up. up right now. I said what I said, good sir. However, in another topic that I wanted to discuss with you. So, cameraman, zoom out a little bit. So, one thing I've noticed with, the developers, especially during the interviews as well, because this is a key thing I've noticed, and I'm going to bring it up here because I want to see my list, because I made a small little list of things. If my Discord decides to open up, unfortunately, it is not opening up, and it's trying to get me packed. That's what's going on. But I think I remember it. So, they're talking about basically what they want to do for PvP, which I've noticed in some of these interviews as well. And obviously, they're still, I wouldn't say conflicted, but they're deciding on what the future is for PvP when it comes to Season of Discovery. They're not sure if they want to either add a new event or maybe possibly do something else. But personally, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I really think it would be interesting to see if they added something with the Arathi Highlands. Now, obviously, I'll show you some footage here of what we were playing a while ago. Just for a little bit, we were playing some Plunderstorm, right? We were doing some retail stuff where we were trying it out, and I was saying it was not that bad back then. It was enjoyable. But it made me think about the idea of why this was obviously, in my opinion, kind of a couple years too late to do this in a Battle Royale category, when Battle Royales right now are kind of not super popular as they once were, and they're like taking over Twitch as they once did on the content creation side of things as well. But overall, I think the concept of the area of what they did it in the Arathi Highlands, which I'm showing you, obviously images here, is something that I want to see. I think, honestly, instead of doing these open world events, which don't get me wrong, the open world events were fun. We had fun in Ashenvale. We had fun in STV for a bit. And these are things that we enjoyed for a bit, and the BRM event right now is currently the most fun thing that we are doing. But I personally think that instead of adding events, let's add some new battlegrounds. This is something that I think for the PvP players would love to see this. Some new spice, something that we have not seen before, new ideas within battlegrounds would be badass. And Arathi Highlands is a reason why I'm pointing to this, is because I really feel like Arathi Highlands, you have your Stormgrade Keep, you have the Hammerfall area, and you can have like a domination style mode, a search and destroy style mode, any style of a mode you could think of, King of the Hill, etc. With Ally v Horde, and I think that would be an awesome PvP experience. Let's consider it something like that, in my opinion. This is my message to the developers, because I personally think if you add more battlegrounds to Season of Discovery, that can possibly influence other versions of Classic having these battlegrounds as well. And I think that would be something that would be cool for the PvP community to feel like they're getting a little bit more support and love, which I think they obviously deserve. The PvP community is very fun. Obviously, there is complaints all the times, no matter what. Classes are too busted, classes need to be nerfed, or classes need to be buffed, etc. But at the end of the day, it is a fun community once you see the positives of it, right? Regardless of any negatives that happen. And I obviously I would like to see some really cool incentives towards PvP. One of my buddies, I believe Paladin, he was even mentioning a bounty hunter style system where you get an incentive to go hunt Horde, and you get gold every 15 to 25, 50 kills a day. You get a certain amount of gold, and maybe a possible crate, like an Undermine style crate, maybe something of that nature, some type of reward. I think that would be cool too. Or just in general, just a whole nother new BG to give players a new place to have fun, a new playground. That's stuff that we like to see, especially within, Season of Discovery, and maybe there's an objective in there as well. That would be really cool. That's overall my 2 cents with it. I would really like to see something like that. And then we would go from there. As in talks of another thing I wanted to bring up is, the art team that they are working with. Because obviously, we did have the new art team with the Molten Core. Obviously, the meatball boss, right? The meatball parmesan, the giant mage icon that's 800 feet scaled bigger than it is, or the good old meatball spaghetti-o. But regardless of it, it is the last boss within MC3. This is the team that they are working with, I think, the main art team from the retail side, right? Overall, though, I do think we can have some more interesting direction and give them the benefit of a doubt. Obviously, this is something new that they are working with, and obviously they're getting their hands involved with the first time, with this team. So who knows to see what we're going to get in the future. Overall, I do like the Demonfall Canyon art in there. I think it's, some of those bosses are kind of cool. I enjoy those very much so. But I would really like to see further things happen within Phase 5 with this art team to give them the benefit of a doubt of where we're going to go from, you know, the raids to new dungeons to possible new designs and, you know, new instances, certain areas, etc., to see what they have to offer to the table for Classic Season of Discovery. Because for me personally, I'm a big fan of the way Classic WoW already looks. I know it's not the most prettiest thing in the world looking at it. It's a massive difference between retail and Classic. But overall, I still think there is a sense of beauty within the simplistic art that WoW offers that a lot of other games do not offer. And it's the reason why a lot of people like a lot of other old school games, like old school RuneScape, etc., like that, you know? Or even like, for example, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. You know, a lot of these older MMOs that have very simple design looking things to them that is very easy on the eyes kind of a, you know, play, right? And I like that personally. That's just something that I always enjoyed overall. Besides that, though, I'm very curious to see where they go with that, and then, you know, down the road, if they are going to follow up, you know, with the previous things I said in my last video with, you know, the Scholar Monastery raid that they mentioned from Blizzard, and the, you know, Karazhan Crypts, what kind of, you know, new designs are they going to go with this team within those areas as well. There's a lot on the table to be discussed and to be talked about, and I'm just very much looking forward to the future of Season of Discovery overall. But besides that, guys, that's basically it for today's video. I don't know if I left out on anything else that I had to talk about. I think we pretty much covered all the notes of what we had to discuss. We are still chasing after some stuff. And also, I do apologize as of lately. I haven't been streaming much. I know it's been on my end. You know, I've been doing a lot of stuff on the back end, and I've been pretty busy. A little stressed, but nothing to, like, you know, bum out about. Overall, though, don't worry, your boy's okay. But in general, life happens sometimes, and, you know, I'm gonna try my best to get the streams up and going. I know today's Saturday. We might stream some other games tonight. Maybe not all World of Warcraft, but there is times where we stream variety stuff too. So Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, you know, Twitch TV, Hello J Tello, you know the deal, guys. Go follow over there on the Twitch. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm choking. Somebody just Vader choked me at the end. What was that? What was that? I almost just got packed up. Did you see that? Unbelievable. Anywho, much love to you. Lock it in. Settle down. Don't get packed. And shine on, amigos. I'll catch you on the next one. Keep on keeping on. And that's about it. Somebody try to pack me up. This doesn't... Who's trying to pack me up out there? You will get shot, sir. I said what I said. You lucky I don't come over there and kiss you. Mwah. Get out of here. I'm done with these outros. I am done.